My name is Tessa Ostvig. I'm 23 years old. I am a senior at BYU, and I've switched my major about 3 times. When I was a freshman, I wanted to be a musical theater major. Then, a couple years later, I changed my mind to linguistics. Finally, I decided to apply to the communications program and got accepted into the public relations emphasis there. As much as I love my public relations emphasis and feel like communications is the right thing for me, I still find myself sitting on my dorm bed wondering, what am I going to do with my life? Is it all worth it? Worrying about my future, having an existential crisis. Us millennials are plagued with this question since we're about 5 years old, being asked, what do you want to do with your life? Every day we're bombarded with a myriad of ideas and suggestions and advice on how to find our passions, how to make our way in the world, how to get a career and know what we like to do, and be happy in the workplace. Here are some examples of the ideas that we get hit with.
There's a dangerously limiting idea at the heart of everything we believe about success and life in general. And it's that you have one singular passion and your job is to find it and to pursue it to the exclusion of all else. And if you do that, everything will fall into place. And if you don't, you've failed.
There's no such thing as a dream job.
Great career, you have to pursue your passion, you have to pursue your dreams, you have to pursue the greatest fascination in your life. You hear it again and again, and then you decide not to do it.
We are terrible at choosing the right job. Job dissatisfaction costs this country up to $550 billion a year in lost productivity. That is billion with a B.
So as anyone would do, I decided to ask my dad. He works at the University of Minnesota and is a mentor for freshman students there.
So with the kids that you mentor, or that the kids that come into your office, like when they have a little crisis of like, I don't know what to study, I don't know what to do with my life, like what is my mission, what is my calling, what do you say to them?
Cool. So one of the things I've learned in 23 years of education is you got to meet them where they're at. A lot of times I'll just ask them questions, and those questions are things about, tell me a time where you felt rewarded for doing something for someone else. Tell me about a time when, while you were doing something, you thought about it doing it again in the future. So I really try to reframe the question. So instead of saying, what do you have to declare? I go back to, what are your emotions and feelings when you used to do stuff?
I also decided to ask some of my friends their journeys and their feelings when picking a major.
How many times have you changed your mind, changed your major, or changed like your career trajectory in the last year?
Probably 4. Probably about 4 different times.
What have all those things been?
I wanted to be a psychologist, and then I wanted to be an astrophysicist, and then a journalist, and now it's kind of going between journalism and teaching.
A recent study done at Penn State said that 75% of students change their major at least once before graduation, even to a conclusion that choosing a major close to your personality will improve your GPA and all of your test scores.
BYU to be a biology major with an emphasis in veterinary science. And then I switched from that to a psychology route.
Okay.
And then from that I switched into graphic design.
How many times have you switched majors?
Never switched majors, just the one. But it took me 2.25 years to get there, so.
What advice would you give to college freshmen?
Get involved. That's gonna be the easiest way to figure out what you want to do, because you're never gonna get it, even in a class, you're never really gonna get it. You have to actually give it a shot. Go find someone who works in a particular job, even if you don't know if you want that job. Go find someone who works in a job and shadow them. Talk to people actually in the field. Join clubs, join associations. Be hands-on. That's going to be, you're never going to ever figure out what you want to do until you actually do it.
So it was honestly myself of what I really liked to do and what I enjoyed doing is when I found the career path that I loved and enjoyed. So don't be afraid to be honest with yourself about what you enjoy doing.
Of all the many, many things that go into happiness on the job, the highest single impact is purpose.
I think it's feeling like things you're doing have a real impact. Being able to actually make a difference, feel like what you're doing is important. And being able to really, put your stamp on it.
Mm-hmm. And so it took kind of getting out there and exploring different jobs that were beyond my scope of understanding and knowledge to really find something that I felt like connected with me.
And if you take nothing else away, just remember that. You learn the most about yourself, not in theory, but in practice.
And in some cases, I actually tell them, just because you declare a major doesn't mean you have to stick with the major. And statistically, the last time I saw, undergraduate students will change their major 7 times before they graduate. So what that means is they're doing a lot of thinking along the way. And so once they kind of hear that you don't have to stick with it and not deviate from it, but you can actually move and ebb and flow, it works out.
So in finding a conclusion, I refer you to the very wise advice of my father.
Students have so much stress and they worry about, oh my gosh, what am I going to do for the rest of my life? Well, you know what? You take it one step at a time.